Hi, I hope everybody's doing well. I wanted to hop on and talk about an energetic that I think is really important. We've seen it in the Facebook group a lot, and I just know a lot of people who were experiencing this, and so I want to answer this energetic question for you. So, there's a lot of people that will see that we're doing the work, and they are saying that they had a lot of momentum and magnetism before this quarantine hit and this pandemic hit. So, whether it was like the perfect manifestation of career was coming through. They had these jobs percolating, all these expanders were presenting themselves, and everything was really working out. And then as soon as this hit, everything stopped. And there's a couple of things to take inventory there because not everybody's in a rock bottom right now, especially if you were doing a lot of the work beforehand and you had a lot of support and magnetism going. It's really important to reframe that because you're actually like sitting in this suspension. You can still manifest during this time, but certainly more so you can still create magnetism during this time. And it's not like all of your magnetism just went away and is on pause. Another way to reframe that is to look at it like you have a magnetic savings waiting for you to open a portal. So I want you to see if you fit into this category, either if you're in a rock bottom or you're sort of in a magnetic savings account right now. So the way to look at that is maybe you had a lot of momentum and success happening beforehand, but there was a lot of resistance. And I'm going to use Lila actually as an example for anybody in this brand who remembers Lila. She was on the team for 2 years, but she knew she was ready to pivot in a different direction. So at the end of that, even though she loved the team and it was a fun environment, it was stagnant for her, right? Like she just was probably burnt out and over the projects and all the stuff that happens for us when we're ready to transition. That wouldn't be a magnetic flow. And therefore, if this quarantine hit and she was still in that position, she maybe is experiencing a rock bottom, right? That it's bottoming her out, or she actually would have really been in a rut, bottoming her or rutting her to move the things that aren't in her authentic aligned path out of her way to create space for her to figure out what that path is and move forward in it. However, that's not the case for her. She ended up transitioning way before this happened, and she had a lot of magnetic flow happening, right? Like the right jobs were coming through, she was meeting the right people, a lot on her horizon, and then this hit and everything stopped. That's a flow. That's somebody who's doing the work and they're really in the process of up leveling to next level. So somebody, if you identify in that space, you're actually kind of in a magnetic savings account right now. That's just sort of like saving and growing interest. It's there waiting for you to open up the right portal. So if you do identify that you're in this space, number one, first and foremost, a lot of people who went through that are feeling that they've lost their motivation, or they're feeling very afraid, or now they're in a rock bottom, or maybe they weren't on their aligned path. Well, none of that's true. So the first thing you need to do is feel your feelings with that. The second thing you need to do is really start to follow every ping that's coming through right now, because the true silver lining here is necessity is the mother of invention, right? It's like the power is coming back to the individual in this very specific space and time. So you need to listen to the pings that are coming through to follow. And for instance, Lila, a ping that she was having is to start her own stuff. She's been like putting it on the back burner, not listening to it. Now's the time to do that, and you will be pinged to move forward. You'll hear these divine communications telling you what to do next. So that's the first one. You need to write them all down and follow them. Secondly, it's really important to do the magnetic daily reprogramming exercise, deep imagining. So you'll find that in the DRE. It's called Magnetic. Do the journal prompts around that and get in touch with how you feel when you're in your magnetism. Are you actively connecting with that space daily to remind you of your magnetic flow? That's what I would be suggesting your daily practice could really be, is that DRE. And then last but not least, it's important to act, right? So you wrote down the pings, you're like consciously thinking of following them, but acting on them, because that's what's going to lead you to the other side of magnetism. And we can still find expanders and connect with people and have a lot of marketing and networking that can happen in this quarantine, right? Because you'll get a ping to maybe go on Instagram at this very time and you end up seeing a profile of a person that's your expander. So the energetics don't really change, you're just not out in the world doing them. So if you do identify as that, you have not you didn't lose all of your flow, you didn't lose all of your magnetism. It's kind of sitting in a savings account waiting for you to open that new portal. And the way to do that is to follow the pings and keep connecting with your magnetic self in that daily reprogramming exercise. And yeah, just don't lose the hope. Keep doing the work. And if it's helpful, getting into rock bottom right now and doing up level to continue that up leveling process. So have a great week.